Hello, and welcome back to Sonata She Wrote, specifically the show within a show where we, you and I together, examine the individual songs of Die Schöne Müllerin. I have recently discovered that translations of songs are copyright protected, so I've dusted off my German dictionary and also Google Translate, and will be proceeding basically the same way, but just know my translations favor the meaning of the song and make no attempt to match the rhythm of the song. For discussions like this, I think that's probably more useful anyway. Morgengruss, or Good Morning, is a song in which the miller might or might not initially speak to the Müllerin, but after this initial attempt, he retreats into the world of his own imagination, and Schubert's beautiful music in C major hides some rather sinister language.
Guten Morgen, schöne Müllerin. Wo steckst du gleich das Köpfchen hin, als wär dir was geschehen? Verdrießt dich denn mein Gruss so schwer? Verstört dich denn mein Blick so sehr? So muss ich wieder gehen, so muss ich wieder gehen, wieder gehen. Oh, lass mich nur von...
In her book on this cycle, Susan Youens, our constant companion through this work, writes that this entire song takes place inside the miller's mind. She cites the absurd language the miller uses later in the song as her reasoning. I only partially agree with her. I think this first stanza actually happens in the reality of the song cycle. Picture the miller approaching this young woman, ostentatiously saying, "Oh, good morning, you beautiful woman." Yeah, I would turn my head away too, if not in terror, then at least from cringing. Remember, the miller and the Müllerin have exchanged no other words specifically to each other as individuals. So this is, in my view, the miller's first attempt at both communication and courtship. Seeing that she's become uncomfortable, he asks if she's been annoyed by him. Of course she has! And he sings gently that means he must leave. Of course, in the song, he says he must leave 3 times. The music may be gentle and beautiful, but the rising melodic sixth is Schubert's link to the previous song, Ungeduld, or Impatience. The miller may be leaving the young woman in reality, but the rest of this song takes place in the same fantasy of the previous song.
Oh, lass mich nur von Ferne stehen, nach deinem lieben Fenster sehen, von ferne, ganz von ferne. Du blondes Köpfchen, komm hervor, hervor aus eurem runden Tor. Ihr blauen Morgensterne, ihr blauen Morgensterne, ihr Morgensterne. Ihr
It might be a relief to know that this verse is as sinister as the song gets. It never lowers from the creepiness level of him staring through her bedroom window, which is where he immediately goes after his failed tete-a-tete with the Müllerin. But in this verse, he specifically references first her little blonde head, and then, grotesquely, her eyeballs and eye sockets. Youens points out that the round gates of the song can literally be interpreted as the Müllerin's eye sockets, and of course, the blue morning stars are her eyeballs. Unfortunately, in this day and age, it's all too easy to see how a young man's unrequited love might turn to plucking out eyeballs. But was that the case in the early 19th century? It's certainly possible, but I do want to point out the possibility that these round gates are probably also in dialogue with the window itself that the miller is creeping through. Either way, it's more than enough to make you shudder. Stop peeping!
Ihr schlummertrunknen Äugelein, ihre taube trüben Blümelein, was scheuet ihr die Sonne? Hat es die Nacht so gut gemeint, dass ihr euch schließt und bückt und weint nach ihrer stillen Wonne, nach ihrer stillen Wonne, ihrer Wonne. Nun schüttelt ab der Träume vor und hebt euch frisch und frei empor in Gottes hellen Morgen. Die Lerche wirbelt in der Luft und aus dem tiefen Herzen ruft Leid und Sorgen, die Liebe, Leid und Sorgen, Leid und Sorgen.
These two verses, which, in my mind, go together more than the previous two, both add some weight to Youens' view that none of this song is really happening, and also take some away. Perhaps the miller is looking through the Müllerin's window before she actually wakes up, but would he really be imagining that he was looking through a window? In my view, this is just Schubert getting a little timey-wimey with us. I feel the first verse happens in reality, and the remaining three take place the following morning, when the miller has realized that she was slightly put off by his opening move of, "Hello, pretty lady." In my interpretation of the song, the miller is absolutely standing and looking through this young woman's window. It's a total invasion of privacy and more evidence, as if any were needed, of the unhinged infatuation of this young man. Up next, Des Müller's Blumen, or The Miller's Flowers. We'll explore even further the miller's mind and his unfortunate obsession with possession. And the brook makes its first appearance in quite a while.